Okay, welcome back. Love doing these reaction videos. Hope you guys are enjoying them. I have a great time doing them. Super easy to do, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I know you guys really, really like it. So this time I thought I'd do another dive into a top whatever of progressive rock albums. And this time we're looking at the Prog Reports top 30 albums from 20, or I guess 2000 to 19. 2019, not 19 something or other. So yeah, 20 years covering roughly. And because it's the Prog Report, it'll most likely be all prog albums. And you can already see a few of them be given away, now within this thumbnail. So it'll be kind of fun to see where these albums lie. So I don't want to kind of give too many predictions because I can already see these. But based on what I'm seeing here, I'm thinking that Porcupine Tree's Fear of a Blank Planet will probably be within the top 5, if not number 1. I will also say that Similitude of a Dream will probably be in the top 10. Raven Refused to Sing will be in the top 10 for sure. And Arion, The Human Equation, I hope we'll see in the top 10. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where all these guys land because I can, pretty excited about what I'm seeing in that thumbnail. So let's dive in and let's see what we've got. All right, so number 30, Symphony Suite. Symphony X, the new Mythology Suite. Yep, totally. Makes a lot of sense. Love this album. One of Symphony X's best work. Mars Volta at 29. That's wow. I would not have put this one so high, so close to like where it is. I would have put it much further down. It will be interesting to see if Francis Samute is on here because that one I love even more. Opeth, Ghost Reveries. Good to see that one on here. Love it. It's one of my absolute favorites. Now we're coming to one of my favorite King Crimson album. King Crimson. Ugh, I'm going to bite my tongue off of that one. IQ Dark Matter. Yeah, this is one of my absolute favorites of theirs. Harvest of Souls. The 24-minute epic at the end. Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. Pineapple Thief. I do not agree with this one. I do not like this album. Now, I will admit it's better than the albums that preceded it up to The Wars, but yeah. When you have albums like Someone Here Is Missing, Tightly Unwound, I don't know why people, I don't quite get it. It's not my favorite of the Pineapple Thief, but I know some people do. It's just not for me. I don't necessarily agree with this. But Anthema, or as I like to call them, Anathema, we're here because we're here. Yeah, this one's one of my absolute favorites from them. The ending of this was just dripping with beauty. Like I find myself crying at the last track of this album. Absolutely. Let's see what else. Arion, The Human Equation. See, I would have put this one much further to the top of this list rather than near the bottom. I still think that this is one of the absolute best prog concept albums ever written. And yeah, it definitely deserves to be a lot closer to the top than at 24. But seeing The Deer Hunter Act 4, this is a great one. I'm surprised to see that this is on here, but it's not on there from last week. Their best concept albums, especially because The Human Equation was. So very interesting to see that. Very, very interesting to see that. Same with Remedy Lane, because I believe Remedy Lane is a concept album. But yeah, I agree. Remedy Lane, great. It's probably my favorite Pain of Salvation album, if I'm being honest. And now we've got Dream Theater Octavarium. Glad to see it on here. I know not a lot of people are a big fan of this album, but I am. I love this album. I think it's a great album from them. Let's go to the next page. We're going from the 20 to 21. Let's see what we've got on from 20 to 21. Let's go on down. Let's see what we've got. Interesting that Flying Color Second Nature is on here. I prefer their first album, their debut album, than this one. I just didn't connect with this one as much. I love this album, but I still enjoy their first album. I think their first album is still their best. Unfold the Future, absolutely, one of my favorites. We'll see if Some of No Evil is on here, which I think is better. But yeah, love this album. Love this album. Riverside, interesting that this one's on here. This is a good album. It's definitely no ADHD or Second Life Syndrome or Rapid Eye Movement, but it's still good. It's a very good album from them. You can't blow your nose at it. Okay, Frost Milliontown. Absolutely love this album. You know, Frost came on with their debut album with quite the punch. Love it. I think they did a great addition for this one. Just love it. That final piece on here and Blacklight Machine, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, deserves to be on here. Okay, so my number 1 pick was completely wrong. Number 16. Didn't even make it to the south side of the halfway point. Wow, wee wah, as we like to say. That is something. That is something at number 16. Wow. Okay, I was really off base with that. I would have put that within the top 10. I would have put it in the top 5, but here we go. Okay, Indrik. Now, see, here's an interesting thing. Big Big Train, English Electric Part 2. Yet, the cover that they're using is the full electric. So, Big Big Train's English Electric Part 1 and 2 was released 7 months apart from 2012 and 2013. A few months later, 2013, the group released this compilation of the 2 albums with 4 additional tracks and finally started to gain worldwide recognition. So why did they mess up the title on here? And they meant the full electric rather than English Electric Part 1? Because I will admit, English Electric Part 1 is better than English Electric Part 2, even though English Electric Part 2 has some beautiful songs. Like, the first track off of that is one of the best tracks that they've written. But I would still say that English Electric Part 1 is a better album than English Electric Part 2. Now, that being said, the full electric is better than the 2 of them on their own. So that's kind of where I'm equating this. And I think that's what they're trying to say here. But instead, it's just English Electric Part 2. So I wonder if that's a typo. Rush Clockwork Angels. Last year, I was obsessed with this album. That's all I listened to. So yeah, absolutely agree with this. Glad to see this one's on here. I would also have put Snakes and Arrows, because I do also enjoy Snakes and Arrows. Lateralis at number 13. I'm surprised I didn't put it at number 12, but number 13. Again, this is a top 5 album for me. So I don't necessarily agree with it being so low. I would have put it much higher in the track listing. The same I can also say about Transatlantic. Absolutely. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but there goes Devin Townsend. Yeah, Bridge Across Forever. My favorite Transatlantic album. Shocked to see it so low. Like, I would have put it, again, in the top 5. But... And Devin Townsend's Empath. Yeah, I can understand that. I can't argue with that. Absolutely. All right, let's go to the top 10 of albums released from 2000 to 2019. Let's see here. Last little round. What do we got? In Absentia. Okay, I'm shocked to see that this one is above Fear of a Blank Planet. Yeah, that's interesting. Don't know if I agree with that. But there you go. Spock's Beard Snow, number 9. Can't say anything about that. I think that's very adequately. I think that's perfectly placed. I think that's good. Let's see here. Marillion Marbles. Yep. Great album from a late career Marillion. I say that, and that's like, we're coming into almost 20 years ago that this thing was released, and they put out quite a bit of albums afterwards, so maybe mid-career. It's funny, because I always think of mid-career Marillion being like the 90s. Nope. All right, but yeah, makes sense. Number 7, The Mountain. Yeah, one of Haken's greatest albums. Yeah, that makes sense. Blackwater Park from Opath. Can't say anything about that. I think that's great placement. Neil Morris, Similitude of a Dream. Okay. Okay, I would put it higher. I wouldn't put it within, like, this is the top 5 we're getting into now. Don't know if I would put it within the top 5. Definitely in the top 10, but I don't know about top 5. Let's see what else we got. Steven Wilson, The Raven That Refused to Sing. Yep, that's a great placement. That's my favorite work from him. Makes sense. Absolutely. Makes sense. Absolutely. Dream Theater, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. Okay. Steven Wilson and Cannot Erase at number 2. Huh. Interesting, but okay. Now, we already know what number 1 is because of Process of Elimination. And that is, of course, if we scroll down, because oh, that's right. I was going to say it's, sorry. I got a little ahead of myself. I was going to say, oh, of course, it's Dream Theater's Scenes from a Memory, but that was 1999, not 2000. Transatlantic's The Whirlwind at number 1. You know what? I can't say no to that. I can agree to that. I can agree to that. Even though I would say that Bridge Across Forever I enjoy more. Yeah, I can't say no to that. I think that's a great placement for it. I think that yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, so there you go. Number 1 in all the 30. Yeah, serviceable list. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say safe, specifically it being in the prog sphere, but yeah, good to see some good representation across the board. So yeah. I can't say no to that. I think that's great. But what did you guys think about this list? Remember, these were albums from the 2000 to 2019, so 20-year span. Had a really good snapshot of progressive rock. The ones that I'm surprised aren't on here. Surprised and shocked that there was no Fido on here. Yeah, absolutely shocked that there was no Fido on here, because he put out some brilliant albums within the 2000s and 2010s, specifically Doomsday Afternoon. You know, I'm shocked to see no Doomsday Afternoon. Also shocked to see no Between the Buried and Me on here. You know, there's no Parallax. There's no Colors, no Great Misdirect. Also no Gazpacho. Like, where's Gazpacho? Didn't even see, you know, Night or TikTok, which very seminal albums from, you know, the neo-prog sphere. Glad to see Frost on here, but I was shocked to see that Experiments in Mass Appeal, their second album, wasn't on here. But their first album was. So, yeah, very interesting to see all that. But, yeah, I think other than, like, those little nitpicks, I think we had a really good list on there. So those are my thoughts about this. What did you guys think about this list? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you agree with it? What albums should have been on here? What albums should not have been on here? What albums should have been moved around their placement? Let me know all about that by commenting down below. And I hope you guys have been having a lot of fun watching this, enjoying this. Yeah, I hope to do some more reaction videos very, very soon. I'm thinking like once every Friday because, yeah, it's super easy to make, and I know you guys really, really like that. So there you go. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.